Good evening, and welcome to our joint show between Hall of Fame College Football and Really Flawed. We're going to talk a little bit about Shedeur Sanders and Quinn Ewers. Why didn't they just stay in college? uh, just wanted to introduce my guest, my co-host for the show tonight, Really Flawed from the Really Flawed Football channel. Appreciate you
Yay.
coming in. Yeah.
Can I just mention, I did not approve the beginning video, the whole Oklahoma Sooners. Like, I
Oh,
never
no.
approved that.
Well,
I just need to officially say I never approved that.
don't care. Next time you can build the graphic, I guess.
Yeah, no, I'm just messing with you. You know me. I don't really, I know a lot of people, my screen just went black over here. I know a lot of people get into that and are like, oh my God, I don't really care about any of that. It is what it is.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Welcome into the show, everybody. We got people from both channels: Alpha Rue, Drew, Namar, Billy on, Christopher Shannon, Ryman Lemon. Oh man, we got everybody in here tonight. Let's see. Goaded, Scott Walker. Welcome into the show, everybody. We appreciate it. Brandon Snake. And of course, again, welcome into Really Flawed and her channel members as well. So welcome into the show. Next time,
Welcome. I'm
hopefully
happy
we'll
to be
play
here.
a Texas intro, she says. Ryan says. Yeah.
I will be honest. I don't represent a certain team in my intros. I just play videos of myself. It's just me. It's just me on Countdown, okay? It's just pictures of me. So it is what it is. I'm just kidding. I don't mind. I'm actually happy to be here. And thanks for, I feel like we've been trying to do this for probably a month or two or something like that. Yeah, I've been super busy. Jason has been super compassionate, helpful, all supportive, all the things. So I just want to appreciate you publicly because I think privately nobody ever knows what goes on behind YouTube, but publicly I wanted to thank you because it's hard being a woman talking football, and I'm an opinionated woman, so it makes it a little bit harder. But anyways, I just wanted to publicly say thank you, and thank you for reaching out and saying let's chat.
Yeah, no, I figured it would be a good thing to talk about. I mean, your boy Quinn, we're talking about him a little bit. And then your boy Shedeur as well. It was kind of a weird deal. But as far as, it's the channel and all that kind of stuff, I mean, you do a great job. I think that everybody knows that. So we've definitely been trying to get together for a while on this. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this a little bit. I made the title Shedeur and Quinn should have stayed, but I guess it's more should they have stayed. More than anything else. Reports obviously going around at this point are that Shedeur Sanders bombed his interview. It was bad. Brian Daboll had him in there and basically was, I don't know, talking about, well, first he didn't love it that they came in with a entourage, which who the hell doesn't have an entourage anymore?
Right.
And then he was talking about Shedeur not being prepared on the whiteboard, which, I don't know. I'll just ask you, Brian Daboll's 8-26 in 2 seasons. Are we sure that he knows what prepared is?
Yeah, and you know what? What does he mean by entourage? Who showed up? I feel like sometimes these people say these comments, and I'm like, what does that mean? Who did he show up with? Was his entourage coaches? Was his entourage friends? What do you mean by entourage? Did he show up with his trainer? Is that an entourage? Or is that, you know what I mean? So I kind of feel like sometimes.
I would assume maybe his brother. I don't know. I mean,
and we don't know. But I feel like they're using this because everybody already has a perception of Shedeur, of who we think he came up with. And so they're going to just say it and then we get to run with it. I always say, put your name on it. Who did he come in with? Who didn't you want to see? Who were you hoping to see?
And that's the weird thing is I think every player, no matter who they are, comes in with people when they're going into these meetings. I mean, are any of them alone?
Right. And who are we talking about?
Yeah. I can't even imagine anybody would be alone, though. I mean, what are you talking about? And then as far as the whiteboard stuff, again, he's 8-26. What does he know about being prepared? They suck. He's part of the brain trust that got rid of
seriously.
Yeah, listen, they sent him down the road to go win a Super Bowl with their division rival.
To be honest, Shedeur probably should have asked him to get on the whiteboard. And then, like, how are you going to map out something that would make sure we win?
Maybe he did. Maybe that's what pissed him off. Who's to say?
No, I mean, I'm being a little facetious, but like, honestly, I feel like sometimes these coaches show up and they want you to be a certain way for them. And if you're not a certain way for them, whatever the way is, right? If you're not that way for them, it is a problem. So his entourage showed up. Okay, so who is in the entourage? Okay. Yeah. Who did you expect him to show up with? Or dare I say, what is the standard? Is there a guest list of people he was supposed to show up with and he didn't do that?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah,
with the entourage, I mean, there's 15 million different Hard Knocks type of shows on every football team from high school to the pros. They got some kind of shit like Hard Knocks out there, right?
Yep.
So I don't know why you would even notice it. If he had his camera crew with him, I don't know if that's what was going on. I mean, we just don't know what's really happening. But then I remember looking last year when they got ready to release Saquon, and John Mara, the Giants owner, was in there talking about, man, this guy is a fan favorite. If you do this and he ends up in Philadelphia, we're going to get killed for it. So what did they do? They sent him off. Yeah, Saquon. Mm-hmm. They sent him off. He wins the Super Bowl, has the MVP type season. They've had camera crews around. That's what I guess that maybe he just didn't want anybody hearing him say something stupid again.
Or can I just
get rid of Saquon?
Maybe Shedeur didn't want to go to the Giants. Well, like, here's my thing. I think we live in a world sometimes where we assume everybody wants to do something because we would want to do it. Maybe he didn't want to go there.
That's possible.
Like, maybe he showed up and he thought they were a joke because they have presented as such. I mean, I've shown up to jobs that I didn't really prepare for as much as I prepare for other jobs. Every job interview you go to is absolutely not the same. Everything you do in life is absolutely not the same. And I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. No. But if he didn't show up as prepared as he should have showed up for other interviews, maybe that's a reflection on the Giants organization more so than it is Shedeur. I'm not saying he's wrong or right. I'm just saying, like, y'all act like, Giants, y'all act like y'all want, like, the Kansas City Chiefs treatment. Like, what have y'all done?
I mean, if you look back, I can think of two quarterbacks that were good for the Giants. Phil Simms and then Eli.
And a lot of people would debate with you if Eli was even good. Because they will talk about the defense.
He did win 2 Super Bowls.
He did, but they'll tell you, if you look at those defenses when he won those Super Bowls, but again, I'm not going to here to have the Eli debate. Gosh, I hate debating quarterbacks, by the way.
I get it.
Yeah. But the other thing is I just want to say that it didn't work out. Okay, cool. He showed up unprepared with an entourage. Okay, cool. He couldn't do the whiteboard exercise. Okay, cool. My question is, why do you feel the need to release that and justify you not taking him? That is the insecurity. And that is the bullshit that I'm like, why even say anything? If he bombed your interview, you didn't like him, you weren't going to take him, why do you feel like you have to defend not taking him if it just didn't work?
I don't know why you would even talk about it.
Period. Ever.
And okay, so, but, go to have, maybe Shedeur wasn't the second best quarterback. All right, Go, do you want me to hit the button here? Because, let's talk about this for a second. We can say all this shit that he supposedly did for his job interview. We can say that his dad is too loud, that he made the comment about not letting him go to other teams. I think that's what you were kind of alluding to. What you can't say anything is about his play on the effing field.
True.
You can't. In his 4 years, he's got 14,327 passing yards, 134 touchdowns. He just broke the record at 74% completion percentage. That's the NCAA record. And he finished at 70.1 all time in his 4 years, 70.1. He only threw 27 interceptions, and his average QB rating is 158.1. He was easily better than a lot of the guys that went in front of him. Are you going to tell me that Tyler Shuck was better than this fucking guy?
No.
Come on.
Absolutely not. No.
Come on, man. Come on.
No. I think the other thing too that happens is, and this is like my biggest complaint in life in general, so I might go on a little rant here, so I just want to apologize in advance. We always want to blame the little guy. We always want to blame the people, the people at the very bottom that are trying and scrapping to get there. We never want to blame the big guy. We never want to blame the giant. Why did the Giants leak the information? Why didn't the Giants have to put a name on what they're saying? Why don't the Giants, like, we always want to hold the players accountable, right? Like, they have to do everything right. They have to be perfect, show up on time, talk like this, say it like this, go on the whiteboard like this, don't wear this. What about these owners? Why don't we hold the Giants organization responsible for winning football games? Why don't we hold them responsible for putting their name on their comments that they have to say? Because the other piece of this is, what if, this will never happen, but what if 10 players came out right now and said, well, I went to go interview at the Giants and they weren't professional at all. But they can't because there's a power structure, you know? So, anyways,
well, you protect the shield at all costs. I mean, we know that there's some organizations. I think about the Colts and their owner. The dude freaking fell asleep at the wheel because he was so doped up.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're talking, it's not like everybody's.
Robert Kraft goes to the brothel.
Awesome. Yeah, he does.
I'm just saying.
It is.
But yet we're mad at Shedeur Sanders for walking in with the entourage that we don't even know who the entourage is and we don't even know who leaked the story. Give me a break.
I know. And somebody out here, what about Milroe? Listen, I like Jalen Milroe as an athlete. I think he's a great athlete. There's no way he's better than Shedeur right now. As far as a polished passer is concerned, there's no way that you could say. I guess you could argue Jackson Dart if you want to. And I like Jackson Dart. I don't think he's better than Shedeur either.
You know what's actually interesting? The only way, sorry, Giants fans, I'm sorry. The only way that Jackson Dart is better than Shedeur is for the Giants because their offensive line is absolutely atrocious. So if we're going to talk about fit and style of play and what is needed for the Giants and the fact that that offensive line has been bad for so long, then I think Jackson Dart is fine because he does have a little bit more escapability than Shedeur and he has a bigger arm than Shedeur. But honestly, Giants, really? Like, y'all act like, I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but came the way he interviewed here. Well, how did you interview in the 2024 season for him to want to be a part of your organization? How did that go? Let's talk about it.
I get it. This is really flawed there, Sharp. Brandon Brinsky Sharp, our boy from the Sharpshooter podcast.
I don't know her name.
Yeah. Hey, he's wanting you to spit. Keep spitting. But, I mean, look, we all know that he holds on to the ball too long. But if you're going to sit here and cherry pick about things that makes you a hater of the dude at this point, just look at the stats. Look at the stats. Again, 1264 of 1803 lifetime, 14,327 yards, 134 touchdowns, and 27 picks. He has he's got a body of work, people.
Yeah.
He's got a body of work. So if you want to make it about the way he interviewed for the job, fine.
Cool.
I still think they colluded to keep him out.
I think I go back and forth. Like, part of me, I don't know if they colluded as far as like had a meeting and decided what they were going to do. Part of me, though, does feel like they didn't want to go there. And everybody kind of knew everybody wasn't going to go there. And then everybody also didn't know when the first person was going to kind of consider it. And so I think they just collectively were like, I think some teams were like, I don't care. I'm not in the sweepstakes. I don't care. And I think the teams that needed a quarterback were like, oh, just take this guy. Okay, just say, it was kind of just like, I don't want to touch it. And the thing that I always say is don't pay attention to what people say. Pay attention to what people do. The way that they're trying to deflect and defend themselves, and they didn't even take him, lets me know everything I need to know. Because why are you defending yourself? I don't know about you, Jason. I don't just defend myself randomly unless I feel like I have to defend myself.
Why would you? Why would
right. You? So why are you defending yourself? What are you defending yourself from? Why are you stating your reasons? Because you just squandered away Saquon Barkley? Because your team sucks? Because you can't have a winning season? So now you have to defend yourself. So that's a problem. But we don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about.
No, we won't talk about that.
Shedeur. Like, it's all Shedeur. I'm like, your organization sucks. They've been bad lately. Fix it.
Listen, if you want to, you can talk about this, him. They think he's an asshole. They think he's too confident. You can say whatever the fuck you want.
Well, my Steelers go after Aaron Rodgers.
Listen. Oh, yeah.
Same. Yeah. So, but my point is same, right? Like, same.
It happens a lot of times. Look at what Lamar didn't. I wonder what would have happened with Lamar if he hadn't gotten into that first round. Had it, now especially, how would it? Because we know that he's not the best passer of the ball. He's a great athlete, but he's not the greatest passer. Mm-mm. And look at kind of same thing with Jalen Hurts. I don't know what would have really happened with Jalen had he not gotten early second into the first type of. I think he was early second, but
yeah.
I think if you get in the right situation and the right team picks you because they need it, whatever. And you can listen, I'll even give him that if he really went in and didn't interview that well, fine. Right. And I'm not making a big deal about Jackson Dart being better or not better. I like Jackson Dart. I think he's a good player. Okay. I'm not saying that he's not. He played 4 years as well, pretty much. I like him. I think that, I think you can argue whether or not one or the other is going. And you could say, does Coach Prime share in the blame? There's people saying certain teams shouldn't draft him.
Yeah.
And we'll pull an Eli. Okay, that probably turns some people off. I get some of it. But you can't tell me that it's worth any of that shit is worth dropping him all the way back to the 5th round when you know damn good and well you would not take Jalen Milroe or Dylan Gabriel, and I'm a Gabriel fan, or Tyler freaking Shuck over him. There's no way, as somebody who's trying to put this, you cannot tell me that any of those guys are better. You're just not going to do it.
I agree. I think the other thing that's also interesting too is, for some reason, I don't know why, as consumers of football, we assume everybody interviews well. Everybody had a great time. Everybody did great. Everybody was perfect. Everybody answered all the questions. Everybody showed up. Like, it's not true. That is absolutely not true. People don't interview well all the time. People bomb it all the time. People struggle in the interviews because they're hard. They're hard interviews. They want you to get on the whiteboard. They want you to break down film. They want you to talk about what you're seeing. They want you to do so many things within that meeting, and it's not long, and you don't know what's coming. And so these football players usually get weeks to prepare. They get to watch film. They get to study. They get to meet with their coach, right? You don't get that in the NFL. In the NFL, they bring you in and they say, go. And you got to go. And if you are going to sit here and tell me that everybody did well in interviews, you're a liar. Everybody didn't do well in interviews. Quite frankly, everybody's not that smart. Everyone doesn't interview well. Everybody doesn't do all the things. But yet, here we are. We're defending. We have to come out and say why we didn't take him. Why? That lets me know that y'all probably messed up. And you're trying to beat everybody to the punch because you just got embarrassed with Saquon Barkley. Because that was embarrassing.
Yeah. Dude.
That's embarrassing.
That would have to be the worst thing. To watch your best player, he's been your best player, go to your rival and win a Super Bowl.
And it was all on camera. For what? $2 million? I don't know. And again, if at this point, I'll just give it to him that he tanked the interview. Okay, cool. Why do we know that? Why? What? So that's that's always,
it's just like anything else. Oh, well, you want to talk about why do we know that? Why do we know that, this is going to get way off base, but why do we know that Nico is the only one that was asking for more money from Tennessee before the playoff thing? There was a bunch of them that were, but Nico got labeled with it.
He's the only one.
What they do, it's out
it
there.
Fits the narrative.
if you don't like the show, Juan, get the fuck on.
Who? Oh, Juan. This
He's
is what Juan does. He's okay.
He's a whiny bitch. Maybe you should get the Giants out of your mouth.
Yeah, Juan. Maybe the Giants should leave us alone and exclude us from their narrative. They're the ones leaking information. They're the ones talking. I didn't email the Giants and ask them to say anything. Did you?
I did not.
So again, you're blaming the people for talking about the organization that's leaking information.
Big facts.
Yeah. So I don't know. And then the other thing is too, is like, should Shedeur have stayed in college? I don't think he could have done anything else in college. I think he had to go. I think he had to go. I mean, well, especially because he got his jersey retired, but I'll leave that alone for today.
Now you're really trying to get people picking on Shedeur.
I'll leave that one alone.
Yeah,
But I mean, at this point, like, I don't think he was going to go play for anybody else but his dad. So I don't know if he was going to go anywhere. And at this point, he has been sacked almost 100 times in 2 years. Why would you go back to that? I mean, no, thank you. Why? So that's just how I feel. I mean, and I just wouldn't go back. I just wouldn't go back to that.
Hey, Unc, there ain't no way you get away with this one. There ain't no way.
Dylan Gabriel's better than Shedeur.
Yeah, so this is my boy from he's
lying.
Fan. Hey, Chris is Unc. He's bullshitting. He's hated lying on Dylan since day one. I ain't having it. You're not getting away with that in here, Unc. Not today. Not today, buddy.
That's
I had
awesome.
to find that one again. That's hilarious.
That's
when
really
Deion
funny.
threatened to pull an Eli on March 27th on his podcast, that could have buried Shedeur. Or at least it didn't help.
Deion threatened to pull an Eli.
Show how much influence and involvement he truly had. Listen, I agree with that. I don't disagree. I don't disagree with it. I think that, look, I don't have a problem with Coach Prime. I don't have a problem with any of the Sanders kids. I mean, but I would just tell you that I think that they definitely stick their foot in their mouth sometimes.
Absolutely.
I think Coach
Prime needs to shut up more times than not.
Facts.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have to answer, right?
No. And there's an art to silence. There's an art to people not knowing anything about your camp. There's an art to people not knowing what you think and what you feel. And I'm just going to say it. Shedeur Sanders should have had an agent. And it was a huge failure for him not to have an agent. I think that was a fail. I think that was a fail. And I think that I also want to just preface this by saying this. I am fully aware, and I'm going to call him Deion Sanders because when he did all this stuff, he was Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders fought to raise his children. Literally fought. Court, all the things, right? He fought to get custody and full-time custody of those kids and to raise them. And I respect him for that. And he brought them with him to Colorado. And I respect him for that. And I think at some point, as a parent, you have to know when to let your child go and when they have surpassed where you can take them. And when you become a burden on them because they're trying to pacify you, but it's kind of time for them to go do their thing. And I think we waited too long for that separation. And I think it should have happened the day after the BYU game was over. I think Shedeur should have gotten an agent. I think Shiloh should have gotten an agent. I think they should have started the separation. They did not. And so here we are.
Yeah. And well, that's what. Well, somebody said though earlier, and I think this may have been on Shannon Sharp's show, that he thought that Shiloh had Drew Rosenhaus.
He just went and got Drew Rosenhaus.
Okay.
Neither one of them had an agent.
Why wouldn't you do that before?
Setting yourself up for failure. Yeah. That is a fail. Wow. It's just a fail.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah, it's just a fail. And so that's why for me it's like, yeah, I think sometimes it's time whenever your kids kind of outgrow you and out whatever, it's time, and they messed up. And then who wants to have a conversation about what's happening with Shedeur Sanders or with Deion Sanders? I want to talk to your agent. You know what I mean? Like, I want to, like, I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but that's just how I feel about it.
Gridiron Insight.
He played 4 years.
My guy Marcus said he played 4 years. No, there's no such thing as that anymore. Hell, there's a freaking guy in college football that's in his 9th season coming up. What are we talking
Didn't the guy that the New Orleans Saints draft, isn't he like 25?
Shuck. Yeah, Tyler Shuck's going to be 26.
So, like, I mean, what is the time period?
Come on.
What is the time period?
We're not talking about Shiloh. We're talking about, you guys don't, make sure you get the right one. And you're talking, Shiloh's the one that did that stuff with the janitor. It didn't have anything to do with Shedeur. That ain't cool.
Yeah.
Y'all chill out. Yeah, Tyler Shuck, 7 years, something like that. But no, there's a guy that's going to play his 9th year of college football this year. 9th year in college football.
He could have stayed.
He could have stayed.
He could have stayed. And can I just say something too? What the Saints? What? What was that? Like, I'm sorry, but like,
come on, man, come on.
What was that?
You got him in the. Was it the 2nd round too?
No, your 40th pick in the NFL draft, and even if you don't take Shedeur, that's fine. But
you could have got Tyler Shuck where you got Shedeur, probably.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so
what are we talking about?
Not a pass rusher, not a linebacker, like nothing. You go get a quarterback who's just like, I don't know. Anyways, I don't know.
I think Cam Rising would have been in number 8, season 8 this year if he was coming back. No, I'm talking about the guy. I'm trying to remember his name. It's just not coming to me right now.
Yeah,
he literally is in his 9th.
The Saints were like, you know what? We have a lot of needs right now, but that's okay. We'll get a quarterback.
Unserious about football. Somebody just said it in that.
Very unserious.
Yeah.
Very unserious. No, and the good news too for that 40th pick, or for the guys who got picked behind him for that 40th pick, you actually have a better chance of making the team now because they blew their 40th pick. like, I mean. Yeah. Anyways, and this isn't actually, once they go to the NFL, I don't talk about or call players trash when they're in college. Once they're in the NFL, it's a whole different ball game for me. I'm like, you're a grown man. So, who is quoting Usher lyrics?
I don't know. I got to see. That's what I'm looking for here.
Where is that?
I got to find some Usher lyrics in here. What we talking? That's awesome.
That is awesome.
What's up, Raw?
Is that on my side or your side?
I don't know.
That's amazing.
I see all of them, so I haven't seen.
Oh, I can see them now on the screen. It's just not that big for me.
Oh yeah,
and size does matter. So
it does. No matter what they tell you, they're lying. They're lying if they say otherwise. Just because they say that because they don't want to hurt your feelers.
Out to let them go. Yeah, I don't know.
And start a new relationship. Yeah. Well, let's talk about this. Okay. And obviously it's not the only one that has done that, right?
True.
There's been a few times that we've seen some guys drop. But Quinn Ewers, I think if he goes last year into the draft, he's probably into round 1, first part of round 2. And this is not even a strong quarterback draft for Quinn.
Yeah.
I think that him getting hurt again probably didn't help him. I think that the fact that he came up small in a couple of games, he got pulled out of the Georgia game. Mm-hmm. They didn't win the second Georgia game whenever, Carson Beck.
He played better. Yeah. And
But you're playing a backup that's never played and you don't win. So, he pulled off the 4th and 13, I know. But anyway.
Hook 'em, by the way.
Oh my God, gotcha.
It's kind of funny how I quickly disassociated being a Texas fan and forgot to say hook 'em.
The brand has finally returned. Your brand.
Oh, don't you wish you had a brand like ours? Anyways.
Oh, we could throw it upside down and then it's a real brand. It's all good.
Imagine having to use your rival's brand as your own brand.
It's going to get petty in here now. Everybody's in here talking shit. So here we go.
Listen, I'm here to trigger people.
Texas this weekend on the softball field too, by the way.
Congratulations for being a softball school. Congratulations for being a softball school.
I knew that shit was coming.
Listen, and honestly, I will never say anything negatively about Oklahoma. Well, and you know this. You've seen, like, I don't brazenly talk trash about any of my rivals in any capacity, mainly because
I do.
I don't do it. Mainly because, and I've said this many a times, I like when our rivals are good because it makes our rival better and it helps both of us like get to where we want to go. Wow. So I think it's helpful. But so my take on Ewers is a little bit interesting because I think that Ewers, if he comes back and risks getting hurt again, and that makes another season where he gets another injury, where he sets out more games, I don't know if that helps him at all. Oh. And he's also one of the younger people, I think, playing quarterback that got drafted in the NFL. And so he's going to a place where he should be able to work. There is a starter. Now it's Tua, so that, you know, like I mean, if he gets hit the wrong way, you know,
he's ultra fragile.
Right. And so now they have two very fragile quarterbacks. So maybe by week 10, neither one of them will be available.
My deal was like, really? You went to get Quinn? And it is a 5th round pick, but you went and got Quinn. And you
Is it a 5th or was it a 6th?
Oh no. Quinn's actually a 7th rounder. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say he wasn't. I was about to say I don't.
231 by all. I mean, pick 231.
It was because he was dangerously close to not getting drafted.
Yeah, listen, I don't know. Do you think that he should sue the NCAA to go back to college?
So what I know about Quinn is he wants to be remembered as a Texas quarterback. I think that's what he wants.
Until he ain't making, he's going to make less money.
That's what he's always said. That's why he didn't enter the transfer portal and he left and went to the NFL. And that's what he's doing. I also think the thing with Quinn is he comes from a family that is perfectly fine. They're not banking on Quinn making it to bring up and make that family better. They're fine.
He made money anyway on his own.
And
I don't know what he was making at Texas. My guess is at least a couple of mil this last
He's fine.
Yeah. I don't know what they gave him to come back. I know that before he went to Ohio State, as you know, a high school junior, basically, before he went to Ohio State, the reason I heard him talking about it on Gruden's show, that he had that memorabilia deal for $1.4 million
coming out of high school.
You know, well, yeah, he was the first and only, the only perfect quarterback, the perfect rating, 1.0 on all those. I don't know.
Yeah. Wow, but so I mean, I think Quinn should have went. I think the thing about the draft that's so hard too is we can have all these opinions and we really won't know till 3 or 4 years down the road. Like we really don't know right now if it was a good choice. Huh. So look at the bright side. Yeah, and that's true. That's true. And he's not the starter. And I've always thought the best spot for Quinn to be is not a starter because he can work on his craft.
Yeah, I don't know. I like their coach there as far as offense is concerned anyway. I think that he's pretty good at what he does. Yeah. So I'm not too worried about that. Bishop Frank, thank you for the super chat. He's just calling people out, saying diamonds. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the super chat.
Thanks, Bishop.
Yeah, man. Miami loves paper mache quarterbacks. Yeah, I kind of looks like it, you know.
Kind of does look like it.
I guess my thing was that, you know, you figure he seems that he didn't have a problem. No, he didn't leave Ohio State upset or anything like that. He sat for that year behind CJ Stroud. Obviously they gave him a lot of money to come back to Texas, but I think he was happy with the Ohio State deal. I could see him going back to Ohio State. You'd probably immediately be the number 1 transfer rated quarterback. Not to say that he would necessarily be. You should still be behind Beck. You might, but if they're saying that Nico is the number 1 transfer rated quarterback, then there ain't no way he wouldn't be better than him. You know, as far as ratings are concerned, he does have an NFL arm. I think there's some things to not love about Quinn, but I think you go and you give yourself another shot to win a national championship. You go back to Ohio State. You go and make Dante Moore wait another year at Oregon, right? Or even like Ole Miss. You can tell me that Lane wouldn't find a way to get him into the fold, and they'd probably pay him $4 million.
I'm going to say something that's probably
care about money, but if $4 million is $4 million.
I'm going to say something that's probably not very popular. Mm-hmm. I think sometimes we come at this too as like a fan of like, I would love the chance to go play college quarterback again, right? Like I would love it. If your goal is to be an NFL quarterback and to get drafted and to go into the NFL, usually your goal just stops there. And he can cross that off his bucket list. It's almost like when you buy your first home and you're like, this is my first, after you buy your first home, even if it's hard and there's a lot of maintenance, there's a lot of whatever, you usually don't say, man, I should have never bought this home. I should have, you usually don't. You're usually like, oh, this is what comes with buying a home. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really love this area, but next home I get. So I guess my point is like,
really, I got to ask you though, do you believe he would have went if he'd have gotten a grade that said he was going to be in the 7th round? I don't.
Oh, I don't think so. And he didn't get a grade that he was going to be in the 7th round.
Right.
So, and again, you're rolling the dice.
But what was his grade though? What was his grade as far as that goes? I don't remember.
It was a third round grade. Second, third round grade. Well, at the beginning of the season, it was, remember, he was supposed, him and who was ranked to be him and Carson Beck. Remember, they were like 1 and 2 at the beginning of the season. And then obviously the season happened. And then over time, it was second, third. That was his draw, was he was supposed to go second and third. But here's the thing with the draft that I think is very interesting that a lot of people don't think about when we're talking about this. It's a big puzzle piece. And shout out to Alpha. Alpha said this yesterday on Rawhide's channel. He said, it's a live moving document, and it is. And what happens is moves on the board impact things. And for example, when the Raiders start the draft and they take a running back, and everybody thinks that running back's going to be available later, and then everybody also knows the Raiders still need a quarterback, you kind of have to shift some things because now you're trying to beat the Raiders to take a good quarterback when you didn't think you wanted one and he was your running back. So I guess what I'm saying is, do I think Quinn Ewers should have fell the way he did? Well, no, but he did. But I think there's so many different factors that happens in the draft. It's not just like, oh, you want this guy? Go get him. It's like, no, like we got to move these pieces so that it makes sense.
Right. No, look, no doubt. It's just kind of wild to me. I think no matter how you look at it, though, you have to, if you knew that, if he got a 2nd round grade, then that sucks that he got a 2nd round grade and didn't go till 7th. But I have a hard time believing that they would tell Quinn that he's a 2nd round caliber talent and then he goes 7th.
And then he's not.
Because,
well, okay, let me tell you something.
We're talking about Brock Purdy as Mr. Irrelevant. People in here are talking about that. But Brock Purdy was ranked to go Mr. Irrelevant, right? If he was going to get drafted, he just ran out of time. He wouldn't have left Iowa State.
Can I state the obvious? What if Quinn Ewers didn't do good on the whiteboard? What if Quinn Ewers didn't have a good interview? What if that's the reason that he fell, but no one is telling us that that's the reason why he fell? And so here we are trying to act like they got it all wrong. What if he showed up with an entourage? And what if he showed up and had a bad interview? And what if he showed up and did terrible?
I found that offensive, sir.
I'm just saying. Why aren't they? My point is why aren't they coming out and saying why they didn't take Quinn? Why aren't they coming out and saying anything? Do they think he sucks?
Obviously they do.
Right. So
the only two things it could be. They're worried about him healthy wise. But if you're worried about Quinn health wise, you got to be worried about Tyler Shuck. He's been in college football for 7 years. I think he's been hurt at least 7 times.
Oh my gosh. I don't understand that pick. I don't
either. I don't get it. He's the meme about the fucking, you're watching the combine, right? And you saw that weird motion, missed the guy by 2 elephants.
A little like what was that?
I'm sorry. I don't. And he just threw it. It was almost like, it almost went sideways instead of spinning that way, It was weird shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but at the same time, we know so much about Shedeur because everybody feels like they have to come out and defend their decision for not taking him. But what about these other quarterbacks? How did Quinn do on the whiteboard? Did he bring an entourage? Apparently pick number 40 didn't bring an entourage, and he was great at the whiteboard.
Maybe he was sitting with all the dead heads and stuff on the wall and shit like that. Maybe that was.
Well, that's how you know you have money too, when you're just like,
you're just trying to get yelled at here. DG over Shedeur, even the Browns think so. Okay.
DG over.
If you think the Browns have a fucking clue, raise your hand in there. Everybody raise your hand if you think the Browns know.
Yeah. Put a 1 in the chat if you trust the Cleveland Browns assessment of talent for quarterbacks.
I feel terrible for Dylan Gabriel as an Oklahoma fan and terrible for Shedeur just because he went. It's a dumpster fire.
Yeah. Put a 2 if you know that they cannot assess quarterbacks because they have failed at doing it for the past 15 years.
Look at what Baker's done since he left. And he did well while he was there. They're fucked up. Yeah, it's wild to me.
Exactly.
And it's all the same crew there right now.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is I haven't seen anybody put a 1. Matter of fact, we said put a 1 and the whole chat stopped moving. Yeah, like nobody was going to put a 1. And now here it's like.
Bunch of 2s. There's we got a bunch of 2s here. I haven't seen a 1.
Yeah. No, 2 equals the Browns do not know how to pick out quarterback. Like, come on. That's what I'm saying. But we spend so much time blaming these players. And I'm like, these organizations suck.
I feel awful for Dylan Gabriel. You're saying DG won. Okay, so you guys know better than this too. Come on. I love DG. Well, I am a DG guy, and 100% through and through. I accept nobody talking shit about Dylan Gabriel on my show ever. And I'm telling you that I would take Shedeur. He's a better player. Folks, we're not talking about who you love more. We're not talking about any of that. We're talking about winning fucking football games. It's not hard.
Can we talk about why?
He's got a rag arm, man. He's got a rag arm. You all know it.
Why did they take 2 quarterbacks? Can we just talk about that elephant in the room?
Yeah, I don't think they didn't have an answer for that. They asked him, why would you do that?
What's the point of that? So you again, like the 40 was the 40 was dumb. And now you've taken 2 quarterbacks. You now have 5 quarterbacks in that locker room. You've wasted 2 draft picks.
You only carry 3. Yeah, so you're going to get rid of both your draft picks?
What are we doing? That's what I'm saying, though. It's like, but no one's asking these teams questions, right? We're talking about the players. What did they do wrong? What did they do? What about these guys that are picking things? What is going on? They got good massages in Cleveland, apparently in Houston, too.
Houston, Cleveland.
And quite frankly, apparently they don't have apparently they also have him in Baltimore because what's the kicker's name? He went to Texas. Justin Tucker likes massages too. So apparently
likes an old rub and tug.
So apparently that's popular. Or should we say apparently it's not good because they keep getting caught. If you were good,
you better
get caught.
No shit. Why are you getting busted? What's the matter with you?
And when you have that much,
have somebody come and do. Well, here's the thing. When it comes to Watson, holy shit, man, that's different than just going somewhere that is like a place like that, right? It's a little different. So, but the fact is, I mean, I can never give a shit about Cleveland, period, ever at all, because of what they did to go and to try to ruin Baker's name all the way out when he took you to the playoffs, won a game in the playoffs. Hell, they haven't done that in their history since they became Cleveland again. You know, once the Ravens left and they can't, he's one guy that has won a freaking playoff game. That's it. And they said all that shit about him on the way out. And then you got Deshaun coming in and I'm talking the fans on Twitter that would take up for this cat to the very end. All 27 of them women were fucking lying. Every one of them.
I don't understand why in the NFL draft where picks are at a premium and they're so important and all the things, why do you go get 2 quarterbacks when you already have 3? I just need, like, on a very basic level, like I'm a 5-year-old, I need somebody to explain to me why that makes sense.
Wow.
Because what you have that, and go, like, where are we missing? What are we missing here? So yeah, go get 5 quarterbacks and let them battle it out. And now Dylan Gabriel's draft moment is almost overshadowed by the fact that he now has an immediate competition from another draft pick. And now, as we're
better than him, by the way, yeah,
right. And now, as we're parading out our draft picks, you know how this goes, right? Now they're going to start talking about him and all this stuff. I don't know. Again, it was a very Browns pick. I don't get it. Makes absolutely no sense to me. So I don't know. Whatever. I mean, and the other thing is too is this might sound ridiculous, but there's only one football. So how do we even evaluate all of these people? How
like,
do they have all time to throw
and all that other shit?
Right. Like, how do they have time behind to throw? I don't know. What do I know?
Well, I mean, Flacco, old man River, he's not going to throw much in practice. So I guess they could get his reps. But I mean, I don't know, man. It's just weird.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, can we just think about this too? They have Kenny Pickett, who, whatever.
I forgot about Kenny. Yeah.
They have Kenny Pickett. They have Dylan Gabriel. They have Shedeur Sanders. They have Joe Flacco. And I think Deshaun Watson is probably going to be out for probably the beginning of the season.
I'm Achilles tendon. He won't be back this year.
And it was the end of the year, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Well, it wasn't. It was closer to the end than it was to the start.
Yeah, that's true. So okay, 4. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand. And maybe they took a flyer on him, but I don't understand why you get 2 of them.
They traded up to do it.
They're the Browns. That's what we had.
Browns, man. Browns are going to.
That's all we had 2s in the chats. I don't know. I mean,
hey, Juan, the Giants still suck, by the way. Just for you, not to get. I don't want to not let everybody know what I think about this stuff here, and I would rather you stay triggered in there. I hadn't seen you in a while, so the Giants still suck.
He'll be back.
Let him come back.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I also think that the other issue for me is I don't know what the Browns are going to do. Honestly, as a Steelers fan, I don't really give a shit what the Browns do, but I need to be paying attention to what the Browns do, if that makes sense. That's kind of how this goes for me. Don't be surprised if Stefanski is the fall guy of 2025, although, to be honest, yeah, I don't know. They wanted him to be.
Why would they want to hire him as the head coach anywhere else? He's been shitty here. What are we talking about? I don't understand any of that. He screwed up Baker. He had Watson. They've had one of the best defenses you could possibly have, and they don't win games.
They don't
win games. What? Why would you want? If he can't win at the Browns, I mean, nobody can, but he's awful. I don't think the guy has a clue. When Baker was there, he didn't want him running out of the pocket. He's sticking him to the pocket and getting his ass kicked because it made no.
They do wonky things there. So if any of you ever are bored on a Sunday if you're ever bored on a time where the Browns are playing or the Browns have just lost a game, okay, listen to what I'm saying. You have to go to Twitter and you have to hashtag Browns and follow the hashtag. You will laugh for a minimum of 30 minutes. I'm not kidding you. Those fans are sick and tired. And it's basic stuff. It's very, very basic stuff.
Well, there's a great amount of them that are total douchebags too. But there's also, I get it. You would have to be, when you go through that year after year after year.
Yeah.
And hey, look, aside from Baker, who else has done well since they brought the franchise back? So I'm just going to say, it's not a great thing. They've gone through a lot of quarterbacks. All of them are out of the league pretty much. It's a bad.
No one.
Yeah.
And what's actually, the other thing I will say about the Browns, I think they have a really good roster. If you just look at the Browns, if you just pulled out the Browns roster and you didn't know they were the Browns and you're like, here is their roster. Here are the guys they have. Here are their
Yeah.
stats. Here are their numbers. Here are the things. You would look at them and you would go, "Oh, okay, they have a pretty good roster." And then, yes, Jenna's right. Do not hashtag dog pound. Do not. Okay. Don't accidentally click it. Don't
That's
even
not what
think
you.
about
That's
it.
not what you want. That's not what you want.
Not well, it might be what some of them are looking for, but it's not football. So,
Well, yeah, I'm sure Bishop Frank's looking for that one.
some of you might like that hashtag, but it's
Just
definitely
kidding,
not
Bishop
football.
Frank. Just kidding. Don't click that one. Don't click it. Just kidding.
So yeah, so I don't know. That's what I'm saying. If you have a good
Happy
roster,
birthday to Bishop Frank. That was his birthday yesterday.
oh, happy birthday, Bishop!
Frank.
Welcome to being 35 again. I hope you had a great birthday.
Well, curse of Kosar. I think it's the whole. Yeah, it was a whole weird deal.
Yeah. So I don't know what they're gonna do. And you know what? Maybe they wanted the clicks and views. Screw it.
Yeah.
Maybe they needed attention.
Yeah, trade it up for clicks and views.
Maybe they needed attention. I mean, they're the laughing stock usually of the AFC North. And maybe this year they're like, you know what? We're going to do something. We're going to go at 5 quarterbacks. We're going
Maybe they figured they could hire Deion Jr. to do their social media stuff too.
Maybe.
It pissed off everybody else.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
And that might not be a bad idea for them. Maybe. We don't know what they're going to do. I think that's the thing. All I know for a fact is that the Browns haven't had a consistent quarterback, and I don't even know how long. So, I don't know.
Brian Flores, huh? He told on the league.
I don't think so.
Never happened. Never
and
again.
I don't think they would want him.
He ratted out. No, the NFL has talk about being blackballed. Good luck, bro.
So on draft night, when Shedeur wasn't getting drafted, and then the next day, did you think he was being blackballed?
Not at first. After the second day, I did.
You did?
Yeah. I figured after the first round, I was like, okay. I mean, I think it's debatable on whether or not Jackson Dart's better than he is. I think it's debatable.
Yeah.
And the fact is, he had, Jackson Dart was with Lane for a couple of years. I mean, I see it. I understand. Again, we could go back and read these we can read these stats again. 70% in 4 years, 14,327 yards, 134 touchdowns, just 27 interceptions. Guys, he knows how to play football. It's not about football. There's no way it's about football. But if you want to make the distinction, the first round's weird. You never know. And
that's true.
Certain people are going to pick who they want. If it fits them or whatever, you just never know. And especially with an offensive head coach, I think Dayball's a moron. I think he's clearly not very good.
Yeah.
But, he's going to get his guy. Now, and somebody said that the general manager wanted Shedeur. If I'm the general manager and I know that I'm about to fire this fucking guy, because you can't have another year like he's had the first two. There's no way to do that.
So somebody said the GM wanted Shedeur, but the coach didn't want Shedeur. Is that what they're saying?
Yes. That's what somebody was saying here a minute ago.
Interesting.
Mac, you're lying to yourself and everybody else. You're just a hater. I said this before. You can talk about don't forget that he broke the NCAA record for completion percentage. You can talk all the bullshit you want about not liking him. You can be a hater, and that's fine. But you got to cherry pick to be the hater about either what his dad was doing or what he was, throwing the watch up, whatever. You can do all that shit if you want to. What you can't do is say that all these other quarterbacks were better than he was. He did not get drafted about where he was supposed to. Come on.
I've always said too, the thing I like about Shedeur, and I've only said this at one other place, so I'm saying it here. The amount of big dick energy he carries that triggers grown men is absolutely phenomenal. I
did not expect to hear big dick energy on this.
I'm just saying, when I hear, because the way Shedeur carries himself, winners, successful people who want to work hard, they love it because that is the standard of what you want to be like. right? Yeah. Like we all want that. We all want that confidence. We all want to step in the room and show up. We all want to do those things. And the amount of men that are triggered by him actually kind of blows my mind a little bit. Like there's certain men that when I hear them talking about Shedeur, I'm like, woof. Huh. Interesting that he triggers you that much. Like, how do you go to bed and wake up thinking about this man?
Mac, Mac, you should not have done that. You should not have said that.
I'm just saying.
Now I have to make you look dumb. All right. Dillon Gabriel played 6 years of college football to Shedeur's 4. Of course, he has more passing yards than he does.
He played 6 years?
6.
I didn't realize he played
3 at UCF, 2 at Oklahoma, 1 at Oregon.
I did not realize he had played that much football.
And well, I don't know how much. How much are we talking about as far as the yardage is concerned?
I don't know, but if the freaking guys, if the Browns thought that Dillon Gabriel was that great, you know what they wouldn't have done? They wouldn't have went and drafted another quarterback. The Browns are telling you they don't think he's that great either. They went to go replace him.
An Oklahoma fan. Let me just say this real quick. There's not an Oklahoma fan in this chat right now that would have told you yesterday, before all this shit happened, that they thought Dillon was going to make it in the league. There's not one in here. I promise. Including Mac and his bullshitting ass right now. You got to stop, Mac.
I don't know. I don't get it. Like I said, if the Cleveland Browns thought that Dillon Gabriel was that great, they 100% would not have went and got Shedeur Sanders. Why? You have your guy. That's like saying if Kansas City would have used their first round draft pick to go draft another quarterback, or that's like saying if the Eagles would have used their first round quarterback, they're not going to go draft another quarterback. They have their guy. The Browns don't think they had their guy. So they went and got another quarterback. The Browns are telling you what they think about Dillon Gabriel. I mean, if you don't want to listen, that's a different issue, but they told you. Can you imagine, though, getting drafted? Like your dream comes true. You get drafted and you're having probably the time of your life. You're celebrating. You're happy. You're all the things, only to find out very soon that they draft a guy for your exact same position. I don't know.
I don't even know what we're doing. I'm dumbfounded by this. Come on, you fans. I know we're smarter than this. Come on. You're starting to really piss me off, a couple of you guys.
But what are they? Oh, now they're on the team Gabriel.
Yeah.
But that's just it, Jason. They're not Team Gabriel. They're team against Shedeur because they hate him. It's not about Dillon Gabriel. Dillon Gabriel is the vehicle they can use to get at Shedeur. That's what I'm saying. The amount of people that twist themselves in knots, that put manipulation in their brains to make it sound like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you
I don't even have a problem with saying that you don't like the kid. I don't have a problem with that at all. You say that I wouldn't draft him because I hate him and I don't like his dad. All right, cool. But if you want me to like think that you're being smarter than the rest of the people in here, you're not. You're being dumb if you're saying that he's not a better player, because we all watch Dillon Gabriel miss long shots all the time. All the motherfucking time. He couldn't hit a deep ball.
The Cleveland Browns told you they don't think he's very good either. What are we doing? What are we doing?
They do know then why draft the dude? I don't know, because they turned around and drafted Shedeur after that. So you're right. Why draft the dude?
Why? I don't know about you, but I didn't see the Kansas City Chiefs draft a quarterback. I didn't see the Cincinnati Bengals draft a quarterback.
They traded up to draft him in the round. All that time, the Shedeur hadn't gone to nobody, and they traded up.
That's what I'm saying. So listen, if you want to convince yourself, you can convince yourself whatever you want to do. Yeah, that's cool. That's great.
Killing me here right now.
Yeah, but it's more. That's what I'm saying. It's more about Shedeur than it is about Dillon Gabriel. They just can't admit it. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I don't get, like I was saying before, this is why I don't get in big sports debates, because I feel like the way sports works, you can always find a little bitty fact that makes your little bitty thing correct. You can always find the one little thing, always.
No, you cherry pick. That's what I was just saying.
You just find the little bitty thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you can always find it. I don't cherry pick. I'm going to look at what the Browns are telling me. The Browns are telling me that they don't know if Dylan Gabriel's good enough, so they got his backup plan already.
Yep. Look, brew on this. I'm cool with. I think that's you find them a cancer, a distraction. They don't want to deal with that drama. Okay, fine.
I think that's valid too. And I think that shows nothing about, and that is nothing about talent, which is our whole point, right? Is like, that's the whole point. Is it about his talent, or is it about the interview or the family?
No, the whole show. That's what we're about. You know what, Goated? The show is about these two guys that are probably better than their draft grade was. I think the end game for me is that right now, the people running teams in the NFL, at least a few of them, I wouldn't trust to run my junior varsity football team. as far as talent's concerned, I wouldn't. And I'm just being real. Because Tyler Shuck, give me
I can't.
Shuck fans, say hi. Say hello to me, all you Tyler Shuck fans, all that you that think it's about that. It's not about talent. It's never been about talent. A couple of months ago, they had him ranked as the number 2. Everybody talked about him as the number 2 guy, or even some say number 1. You know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know. I just think at the end of the day, they did what they thought was the right thing to do. And whoever is the starter is whoever's the starter. And it just kind of is what it is at this point. I just think I think college players with average draft grades will see. Maybe. I mean, did the guy that was the 40th pick though have a second round draft pick? I don't think he had a second round draft grade, did he?
Who, Tyler Shuck?
The guy, yeah.
No.
So, I mean,
I think he was 3rd. He ended up going. We'll go back and look at it, but I think he ended up going 3rd because I don't remember that being
at 40. I think that's the second round, isn't it?
Oh no, he was at 40. You're right. That is second round.
That's crazy. That's crazy as hell.
That's crazy.
That's crazy as hell.
That guy. I mean, come on, man. Come on.
That's actually crazy. So I do have
an easier chance. I mean, he plays, he hits. The things about Shiloh, he hits people. You can. I don't know that it's not going to work out for him. I think that maybe it does, maybe it doesn't.
Who are we talking about?
Shiloh. Somebody was saying he's a YouTuber in September, which is possible.
I mean, I don't know.
They're not going to put up with any of their shit, right?
Well, but like, what does that even mean, though? What does that mean exactly? Like, what are we talking about? They're not going to put up with. Like, what do they put up with?
They don't. Well, and that's like we were talking about this earlier. Everybody's got a damn film crew, so I don't know what we're even talking about with that. But I think if anything, they were worried that Deion's going to be talking shit about them from his little perch in CU at CU. You're always going to get questions every week. I think that enough people listen to what Coach Prime says, and everybody knows that. I think that would be the biggest on some of them. And again, I think that if you're one of these people that is worried about what Coach Prime says about your football team,
you have a different issue.
Be there. Yeah, you probably
exactly. That's my thing.
But let's not forget that there are a bunch of damn worms in the NFL.
True.
I mean,
if you're spending your time worried about what somebody outside of your organization is saying about your organization, you should be fired anyway.
True.
Right. I don't get it.
Yeah. Hard knocks on the Browns as we speak. Probably. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But that's my thing. I feel like they're always like, well, everything they bring. Okay. What is it? So what are you worried about? You're mad that they're going to bring you ratings? You're mad that he's not going to like what you're doing? Guess what? fire up ESPN every day and they don't like what you're doing either. Your former players don't like what you're doing. Like, what are we talking about? I'm going to be very honest here, and I mean this with no disrespect. Coach Prime is really not that big of a person, and he doesn't have that big of a following as people think compared to some of these other people that have a lot to say.
Yeah.
Like, we're acting like they come on, like,
I don't know.
The amount of,
I don't know if I agree.
But let's think about the hate you hear about Dallas Cowboys, right? You hear it Monday through Friday, and then when they play on Sunday, and then you hear it you hear it on repeat over and over and over. You can silence Coach Prime. You know how? You can actually go to Twitter, you can mute him, and then you can never click on a video, and you would never hear anything about Coach Prime ever. You want to know how? You want to know how I know? I'm that person. Like, I don't see anything. I don't see anything. So my point.
You don't like Coach Prime?
He's muted. He's muted. I don't need motivation shit in the morning. I don't need it. I'm good. He's muted. And he's not the only person. I have Shannon Sharp muted. I have Drake muted. I mean, I can give you a whole list of all the people I have muted. But my point is, we act like because these are the people that we know and that we care about, that they're the loudest voices around, and they're not. They're not. I have friends that don't even watch football, that aren't even interested in anything going on, and they always are like, why do people always talk about the Cowboys? I don't get it. My point is like, we live in a society where just because you think it's important, you think everybody thinks it's important, and it's not true. Like, it's just not true. So, just saying.
No, you don't have to. I mean, I think a lot of people are listening to him. It's clear that, I mean, look, it doesn't matter what they do as far as, even after the 4-win season, you had everybody talking about them winning the Natty this past year, which was crazy. But there are fans that followed him from Jackson and everything else that they didn't even know CU existed until Coach Prime got there.
Right.
I believe they're very polarizing.
I do agree.
Love or hate them. Love or hate them.
They are polarizing.
Yeah.
And I also think that if Coach Prime, okay, after what he just experienced with his child, if he still comes out and says a single peep about the Browns after all of this, Shedeur Sanders will be out of the NFL faster than he entered the NFL.
Well, yeah, because
that's what I think.
Position that it's going to cost them anything to cut him.
He's got exactly.
I don't know that isn't a good if that isn't a good strategy though. I wouldn't want my kid to go play it for the Browns. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but I don't. If he could select it and it would just be like just the Browns not liking it, but I think other people would use it. That's all I'm saying, and that's the game that he's playing right now. That's just how I feel. I mean, I could be wrong. I just don't think now, after what we just saw, I can't see Coach Prime tweeting randomly after rookie mini camp, I can't believe my son only got 4 reps. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I'm doubting that the cameras will be in there for them to know that, but I don't know. I don't think he may not tweet it, but listen, they stick microphones in his face every day.
Yeah, and he's got to be more disciplined with the microphone.
If he's unhappy about whatever's going on in Cleveland, you will know.
He has to be more disciplined. He has to.
Well, you would think that maybe he'd learn from that, but he's the type that doubles down on his stuff. He's not going to tell you he's wrong. You know, we've all talked about. I know we've all talked about. You've got to recruit high school kids well. You cannot just use the transfer portal. Now,
I'm getting triggered.
It works out. It worked out for him last year in the Big 12. Will it work out moving forward? I think he's scaling it back a tad. But do you think he gives a shit? What we think? He doesn't. He doubles down on fuck you. I'm not going into houses. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. And that's why they are where they are right now. I will say this.
You know, somebody's going to ask Deion Sanders, yes, El Hombre.
Of course, somebody's going to ask him. It's actually their job to ask him. And then it's his job as the father of those children to say that's Shedeur's business. I'm not getting in that. Why is that so hard?
Come on, bro. He ain't doing that.
But I'm just saying, and that's the issue is if you can't be that disciplined, then I don't know.
I agree with you 100% that you should.
Mm-hmm.
I think he should shut up. I know he's not going to shut up. You know he's not going to shut up. Come on. Really, come on.
I don't know. I don't know. So a lot of people want.
I gotta say one more time. I did not have big dick energy on my bingo card today. But I appreciate it. You know, that's going to get clipped.
Yeah. And I hope all the guys that watch it and all the guys that I trigger and then start feeling sensitive because I said it, get mad at me. Congratulations. I'm talking to you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. I'm actually talking directly to you. The other thing I want to say here too is you have had a lot of people want to know what you think about Oklahoma after the transfer portal has now closed. Do you care to share your 2 cents on how you feel about Oklahoma now that the transfer portal is closed? Because they're asking you.
Who's asking me?
In the chat. They're like, I'm like, if they ask him one more Oklahoma question, like they want to know what you think.
I'll be on in the morning to talk Oklahoma. I mean, you know, we're only going to go, we're not doing a 3-hour show here. We're going to be done in about 10 minutes. So,
yeah,
you know, I'm a short answer. I feel good about where they are as long as you don't have a shit ton of injuries like last year. That's all. But we'll move along.
There it is. I think the other thing too, I just want to say is that if I was Shedeur and Quinn Ewers, I would have left and I would have went to the NFL. That's what I would have done, mainly because I don't know what I would have had left to do in college. I mean, literally, Quinn Ewers has been a player or two away from going to the national championship game the past 2 years. I mean, yeah, you could come back and try it a third time and see if you can get, but like at this point, it's almost
it didn't really help Will Howard to win one. I was going to say you could go back and if you're Shedeur and say, hey, maybe it helps me to get away from my dad and have to go through somebody else's program, whatever. I mean, you're going to tell me that Ohio State wouldn't love to have him? I think football people would want to have him, right?
Of course, yeah. But for me as a person, I gotta go.
Maybe they don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've got to go.
I can see that football people that don't want bullshit or chirping going on. Maybe you don't want it. Maybe he is a distraction. I'm not saying that's not even a fair thing to say. I agree that it is. But in college football, there's a lot of desperate people out there.
Yep.
I can see him having a good situation. And if he gets away from his dad, and that's the only thing that they're really worried about is all that stuff, and he can go and prove it, then I think it would have behooved him. And again, they're going to make a lot more money. And I do think that the Sanders are a lot more motivated by money than what we're talking about Ewers being.
Fair.
You know?
Yeah. And I think too, like, yeah.
He could make
why not go?
5 million. Why not?
Yeah. And if that's your lifelong dream and it's right in front of you and you're getting told good information, you're getting told round 1, round 2, even round 3, whatever, and you want to go. I don't knock any of them for going. Honestly, listen, I was going to say something inappropriate. I'm not saying that, but there's a lot of things I wish that I could do all over again in life had I had more information. That's not how we get to live life. And so they made the best decision that they can make with the information that they had. I mean, maybe it didn't work out the way that they hoped, but they're in the NFL. So they can check that off.
So Almighty Blood, he's a father. They played the game and Golden Jacket came with it. So that means he doesn't do anything wrong, bro?
Yeah, I don't know what the point of that was.
Is that this is the super fan guy over here? Is that what we're doing? Come on, bro.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand what does that mean? Because therefore he should speak on behalf of his son and impact his son's draft stock? I'm not sure what the point of that was.
It's one thing, people talk about what the Mannings were doing. Archie has kind of from behind the scenes controlled things a little more. It wasn't from out front and yelling.
Who?
Archie Manning.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well.
But from behind the scenes, it's a different thing, though, right?
Yeah.
With Dion, it's, I mean, you know what it is. It's flash, it's yelling, it's talking shit. Look, there's some times that he's had that come back on him a little bit. I go back to the Oregon game and all the shit they were doing before that Oregon game. And they were still chirping the rest of the year. And it was like, gosh, shut the fuck up already.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, and if
they're
that's
trying to shut up.
Right.
Shut up.
And I expect people to change who they are? No. Mm-hmm. Do I expect people to act better in certain situations given more information? Yes. And yes. I think that's his challenge, right? That's the next challenge is still be you. Go talk as much trash as you want. Do all the things you want to do. Just leave Shedeur out of it. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to cut it off. Let him go. Like, you've got to cut it off.
I have to believe that if Shedeur's going to make it, he's going to make it with that still going on because they ain't going to stop. And you heard
how many times? Okay, well, let's play devil's advocate.
Is right. You know who my dad is, right? I don't care what people think.
How many times though do you think that Coach Prime? I'm going to call him Deion Sanders because he's Shedeur's dad. So to Shedeur, he's dad. How many times do you think Deion Sanders would have to say, "I am not answering any questions about Shedeur. He's now at the Cleveland Browns"? If he said that, how many times do you think he would have to say it before they stopped asking?
They'd never stop asking.
You think they would still ask?
Yeah. And sooner or later, and sooner being I would say much sooner than later, he's going to give in on that. It's not in him to not talk shit. Come on.
Well, the truth of the matter is, though, is the Colorado media is they ask him freaking softball questions. What time did you wake up this morning, coach? Did you go do your morning walk this morning, coach?
I agree. Except there's a lot of national media there too.
In the they don't call on them. Have you ever go watch a
You're right. And he even was killing remember the CBS reporter that was from Denver and got
wouldn't let him ask the question.
Yeah.
That's my point. Is he will be in that press conference. He walks in and they're like, "How was breakfast today, coach? How are you feeling? Did you sleep well?"
But there's also the ones that somebody will, if Shedeur has a bad game or whatever the case may be, they'll pitch him the softball questions so that he can give hell to the offensive coordinator or whatever.
I have never.
Kevin Stefanski is guaranteed got a big ass target on his back right now.
But I have never in this last football season, I cannot recall a single time where the Colorado football media asked Coach Prime a hard question, except for when they said, are you preparing your team to play in the rain? Rain is in the forecast. Are you preparing your team to play in the rain? And he said, "Oh, why would you talk about the rain? We don't want to have the rain. Why would you talk about the rain? We're not going to prepare to talk about the rain." And I'm like, that was a really good question. And so my point is I see them bowing down to him more than they're going to stand up and say, "What is your honest opinion about Shedeur Sanders going to the Cleveland Browns?" That's what I would ask. Yeah. And if he doesn't answer it, he doesn't answer it.
He's not going to say anything bad about him now. Oh, yeah, Barry and Mack are discussing Gabriel versus Sanders as we speak. Listen, I love Barry and Mack, and I'm going to tell you, I will be super surprised if I hear Damian Mackey say anything good about Dylan Gabriel. Come on, man. But do tell us.
I don't know. Goat, you are very welcome.
Sanders.
Goat, you're very welcome for Golden and Sorrell. Take care of them. They're lovely humans. Lovely humans.
Am I missing something?
The other thing is,
I'm not seeing all this.
Yeah, I hope somebody watches this back. That's part of the Colorado media, and ask Coach Prime hard questions. Ask him.
They're not going to do that. They don't do that in Norman. They don't do that in Austin either.
No, I'm talking about No, I'm not saying. No. I'm not talking about hard questions like, "Hey, why the fuck does your red zone offense suck?" That's not what I'm saying.
No. I'm saying not going to go past that.
I'm saying just ask a question. I don't care about how you woke up, what you ate, how you're I don't care about that. Ask at least some football questions. That's all I'm asking for. How do you how do you feel like the transfer portal went, for crying out loud? The Colorado press is like, hey, coach, did you see the video of, like, come on, like, ask some questions.
Yeah.
Grow a pair. And if he kicks you out of the room, so what? He's not going to, but like, ask the questions. But
yeah, ask him about his arm, Billion. Ask him about his arm. Does he think that's NFL ready? Come on. Fuck out of here. You guys are making me talk shit about Dylan Gabriel, and I'm not even, and I love Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
Let's just, you guys have got to stop talking about shit that
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes the race baiters.
Oh, who?
Do you see it? It's so funny how a black woman would let this non-African American come on here and say 2 black men should be more humble. First of all, you never said that. First of all. Second of all, I don't control anything that you say. Third of all, you never said he needed to go back to school.
I never said shit. I didn't say he needed to be more humble either, Darren.
I know. You didn't say he needed to be more humble. You didn't say he needed to go back to school. You also said he's better than Dylan Gabriel. So really...
Hey, Darren, go fuck yourself. I'll say that.
He needs attention. Some people just need attention.
Oh,
yeah. But
I've been called the Caucasian in ever.
Hey, but what did I say before? He's lacking big dick energy.
He's lacking big dick.
He's lacking the right energy. Right. So
he's lacking.
Yeah, imagine being so triggered by something nobody said. Whew, couldn't be me.
Here you go. I got something for him.
And I'm glad that somebody thinks I have the power to control what somebody else is saying.
Yeah, no shit. Especially me. I'm fucking.
Let me control what you're saying.
Fucking stupid.
Some people are really fucking stupid.
That's amazing.
What did I say? When did I say that? When did
you
I
didn't say any of all the things that
clown?
He said that you said, you didn't even say. So whatever.
Clown.
But anyways, some people need attention. Darren, I hope you feel better. Okay. When you're in your basement, I hope you feel better when you're by yourself and you're on a random live talking about it. Yeah. Have fun, Darren. We got you attention. Now you're welcome. Thank us later.
Bye-bye. Nobody's backpedaling, bro. I'll tell you again, go fuck yourself. And
some people are really fucking stupid.
Yeah. All right. We're out of here.
All right.
It has been, I don't know where we got with this. It doesn't matter. I would tell you that I think overall, I'm more worried about the NFL as a whole and what they're doing, because I think they're missing the talent part here. Because I think the Quinn Ewers, we didn't even talk as much about Quinn as I expected to. I would tell you that I think Quinn is probably better than some of those quarterbacks we're talking about.
For sure.
Not necessarily Dylan, but for sure Tyler Shuck. And Jalen Milroe still isn't a great passer. I don't think he's ready for the NFL at all.
I forgot about Jalen Milroe.
I think it's going to take him getting the perfect situation for him, and they got to give him time. And he didn't get picked in a position that he's going to get a lot of time.
You know, there was another guy that got taken that I didn't even know. I don't remember. It was before Ewers. And I was like, who is this guy? I don't even remember his name. But yeah, I mean, I think that at the end of the day, if I were both of them, like I said before, I would have went pro, and I would have just dealt with with the fallout. Because, and honestly, if you can play football and you can throw football, and you can complete passes and you can read defenses and you can do all the things, you're going to be fine. And honestly, do you want to go in the first round and make all the money? Of course you do. But if you can do all the things, you're going to be fine.
Maybe. But here's the thing. There's teams that are more financially motivated to make so-and-so give him more time. He has no draft equity right now with the Browns. Now, if he goes in there and balls out, I think that it's a decent situation as far as I think he can beat out the guys in the room. Now, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I think
Yeah,
he's
that's
more
fair.
talented. I mean, I think Kenny Pickett would be the one that maybe he beats him out right now. If he loses to Joe Flacco, it's because they just want somebody that has, you know, a shit ton of
Yeah.
experience. But as far as talent's concerned, yes, he should beat out Dylan. Right?
Who was the cuter? I need to find that quarterback's name. Because I'm telling the person that was drafted, I was like, who is that?
Yeah.
Like, I was literally like, what team does he play for? I can't find it. Of course, when I need
never
a quick
said
search.
that he should go back to school, Darren. I said that I asked the question, could he have gone back to school, maybe even, you know, transferred to somewhere else and gotten a better grade out of it. And yes, he could have gone back to school if he wanted to, but nobody said he had to.
Darren just needs attention. Oh, Florida. It was Florida's. Okay, so Florida's quarterback, Graham Mertz. I was like, oh,
Graham Mertz went in front of Quinn.
What? And then Montana State's quarterback.
But he went in front of him. Receiver, though. He went as a receiver, though.
And then Indiana's quarterback went in front of him.
Well, that's wild.
And I thought, yeah, so those were the couple of ones where I'm like,
North Dakota State quarterback Cam Miller.
North Dakota State, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, I am going to lean on the fact that they decided to go. They're on teams. They now have an opportunity to prove themselves. They just have to do what it takes to prove it, and they have a chance.
Yeah,
they have a chance. So,
yeah, I think.
Anyways,
you do have to, and I do think that. Yeah, listen, I think one thing, it could throw a chip on his shoulder, Shedeur, especially. Both of them, really. You get that chip on your shoulder where now, you think I suck? Okay, look, watch this.
See, and I love that. Give me a player with his back against the wall.
Might end up working out. We didn't
get frustrated.
That, when it comes to Cam, or not to Cam, but, well, I've always felt like Cam Ward got really good because of that.
Yeah. I do
because
too.
He was an incarnate word. Nobody gave a shit about him. And then he went to Washington State. He was really good, but nobody was thinking that much of him. Then now he goes to Miami. They have a good year.
Yep. Made him fight for it.
He's a stud, right? But Shedeur may not have, I think Shedeur doesn't have the arm that Cam has. I think he has everything else. And his numbers proved that. But now you're going in there like where he is, like where he got drafted. And you have to prove yourself to even keep your job.
Yeah. I agree. And that's the thing. I always say, if you give me a chance, I'm going to show you what I have. And they got the chance. So they have to, I mean, it's up to them. And you got to play the part, right? Like now you're in there. You're in the fraternity of the NFL. And it's a whole lot of politicking, and it's a whole lot of maneuvering, and it's a whole lot of patience, and it's a whole lot of all the things. And now you have to show it, because just because you got drafted doesn't mean you're in, and doesn't mean you're going to start in September. So now it's time to put in the work. It's time to buckle down and put in the work. So let's see what they got. I'm actually excited. I'm actually excited to see what this brings out of Shedeur. I'm actually really excited to see I like him in this position, and I'm excited to see him fight. Yeah. So that's just how I feel. But anyways.
Hey, listen, I think it's interesting now. And there's a lot of people that are pissed off.
Yep.
There are a lot of people that are pissed off. It makes you wonder how it's all going to go down. But you have an opportunity. If you definitely gave yourself, I mean, really, it gave you a huge chip upon your shoulder. A lot of people are looking for something to compete with. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Michael Jordan loved that kind of shit.
Yeah. And now it's time, right?
Up. Like, make shit up.
It's time to step up. And again, if you are a true whatever you call yourself to be, this is the moment, right? This is the moment where you say, "Oh, y'all didn't think I had it? Okay, cool. Yeah. Bet. Got it. Noted." Okay. So, anyways, well, I appreciate you having me on.
It was fun, man. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So anytime we can get back together on this, we're going to call it offsides instead of opposite sides, but that would be
I haven't even seen the freaking Texas one.
What? Huh?
Where's the Texas one? Where's the Texas logo?
It's up at the top. You don't see that?
I don't see it.
Between it.
I only see
right now.
I only see OU.
No,
Mine's not moving on the. Oh, maybe it's the mode I'm in. I don't really know how to work this system, so.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean because it's showing it. It's showing it. Yeah, go watch. As soon as you're done, you can go back and look and clip or do something like that, and I can send you a copy of this.
No, you're good. I don't. You know what? You know what? I don't usually go back and clip anything I say live because I don't know what I'm gonna say. So sometimes I'm like, I said it. It's out there. I'm not touching it. So I'm just gonna let it be. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Right. No, it's there. It flips back and forth like.
Oh wait. Okay. So there's a thing on my screen that says studio mode. Should I make it green? Should I click it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you can. It doesn't matter. Yeah, but you should be able to see it, though.
But when I click it, I can see it. I can see it now.
Okay.
Oh, It's telling me. Anyways, nobody cares about this, but I just want to say thank you for having me. Thank you for every single person that came in, trolls and everybody alike. I appreciate you all being here because if you're not a troll and if you're supportive, I appreciate it. I am not, you will find I have very thick skin. Not a lot bothers me. So come on aboard, say whatever you want. But thank you, Jason, for just like reaching out to me and saying, hey, do you want to do this?
It was fun. We'll do it more. The season gets started. It's, June, July, we be able to do a lot more college football and Red River shit talking. So it'll be fun.
You're in trouble if you need somebody to talk trash with you.
No, I know. I've tried and you just like, don't even take the bait.
I don't even care.
So weird.
You know what we can do? You know what we should do is we should actually have a show. We can do it live where I talk about Oklahoma. Like I talk about like the great things about Oklahoma and I assess and I talk about them like, and then you do it with Texas.
Oh no.
That would be so cool. That would be so cool and different. Because then it would force you.
I'm gonna have to think on that a little bit there.
Yeah, really. let's come up with a way where you can where we kind of do the opposite of each other's teams. Like, does that make sense? So we can like assess it differently. Because you're always talking about Oklahoma. You're always talking about this and that. Like, that's great. But like, what if you twist your brain a little bit and come at it from a different angle?
Might hurt my brain.
I'm just throwing out ideas. But
no, I like
anyways.
it. I like the idea. I don't know if we can pull it off or not. But it's fun.
You don't have to like praise us. You can just factually talk about things that you find.
No, it's fun. I do pay attention. I pay a lot of attention to what Texas is doing. It's Texas. It's the other side.
Hook 'em. Anyways, everyone have a great night. And Thanks for having me.
Hey, make sure you guys get over there and check her out at Really Flawed. You can find her at Really Flawed right on Twitter as well. And so it's at Really Flawed. That's where you find her everywhere. Make sure you get over there. Hey, we need to get her to 1,000 subs. It's time to get her there. Or no,
I have
2,000. Yeah, 2,000 is your next. Or
I don't even know. You know what's funny? I've told you I don't even look at my subscribers until somebody's like, "Did you know?" Yeah, I'm at 1640.
It would be hard. It would be
hard. But that's the whole point.
No, I get
it. Yeah, but that's like, why would you not? Like that's the fun of talking sports.
We'd have fun with it because it would be fun. But
yeah. And I might say something and you might go, "Oh, damn, I never really thought about it that way." Like, because that's what happens when people from the outside assess something. It's just different.
I mean, look, I think there's certain levels of how much you're going to talk them up. I think I've got my feelings about them that are probably on that other side of being an Oklahoma fan. Certainly. But I do think that they're doing a good job recruiting. I think that there's a lot of good things they're doing at Texas. It's just not. We're going to find out how really good they are.
I've softened you up. See?
You'll find out how you add that a little bit. Let's see what they do this year. So
the thing I always say is everybody's worst fear is Texas being as good as people think they should be. Because then, what do you say?
Yeah, listen. If you get to that,
you're like, oh God.
Well,
it worked.
If they get as good as people think they should be, they never lose. So that was smoke.
Yeah, I think I've experienced that. I think twice. like obviously spurts. But anyways, this isn't about that. But I appreciate you for having me, and I can't wait to go watch the playback just so I can see the Texas offsides.
You'll see it. You'll see it in a second. All right. Well, thanks a lot for coming in, guys. Make sure you hit that like button. Darren, for you being in here, you should be on both sides saying thank you and hitting the like button. Don't be a freeloader. Since you're being an asshole, don't be a freeloader. All right. Thanks everybody for coming in. We'll see you all on the next one.
Bye.